Today we're going to be going over the WooCommerce integration with ThunderPOS, what you have to use it, what it can do for you, the limitations of it, and just generally kind of going through. It's not going to cover every little thing for that. You might want to check the manual, contact support if you need help, but it should give you an idea of what the integration is capable of. So there are a few things you're going to need in order to use this. First, you're going to need ThunderPOS Cloud Edition. So you're going to have a full subscription to the software, and you're going to have to be using a cloud server. If you're not on a cloud server and you're interested in moving to a cloud server, you'll want to talk to us. There are some limitations on that may make it something you want to do or something you don't want to do, but the biggest thing is you're going to have to stay on support if you are on a cloud version. And if you're on a monthly subscription, that's fine, but just be aware of that. You're also gonna, and of course you get the cloud edition of ThunderPOS through us. These other things you're going to get elsewhere, but there are a variety of companies that can offer them. And you're going to want a WordPress website. We've got one up that we're going to be showing today that's pretty much just a default one that we're hosting. WordPress is a free open source software that anybody can run on their own server, so you could run it yourself. But there are, if you are not interested in doing that, there are a large number of WordPress hosting sites where you pay them and they do a lot of the technical work to set it up. Probably the most well-known of those is just WordPress.com, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of services out there that offer WordPress websites. But you're going to need version 4.4 or above, which if you're just getting it set up now should not be a problem. If you're on an older version, you'll just need to update to at least that one. And then you'll have to have the WooCommerce plugin for WordPress installed. This plugin is a free plugin. You may want things beyond that for different card processing, different themes. There is quite an ecosystem out there of WordPress stuff, but these are what you're going to need to have. So we're going to just run through what all you have to do to set up the integration if you already have those other things. And as I mentioned before, as I switch over here to our site, I'm already logged into our WordPress admin backend. This one's already been set up, but I will set up another user just to show how it's done. So you're going to go along the left here, and this may differ in exact appearance depending on the WordPress host you've chosen and if you've done any themes. If you've got other plugins installed, they might be on the menu, but you're just looking for the WooCommerce menu and then settings. And then once you're in settings, you're going to go under advanced, and then you're going to go to the REST API. And as you can see, we've got a couple of these already here, but once you've added a key, you actually can't look at it again within WordPress. So if you lose it and you need to re-enter the credentials or anything, you'll just have to add another one. You can remove the old ones if you're not using them anymore. So if we just hit add key here, couple of things. You'll want to put in a description that makes it obvious to you what it's for. It's possible that you'll do other integrations with other pieces of software for shipping or for selling on places like Amazon or eBay. There's a lot of things available through WooCommerce. So just in case you do that down the line, you'll want to do a description that makes it very obvious what this is for. So I'll just call this one, ThunderPOS access key. You'll have to tie it to a user. I only have the one user in here right now, the default one. But you'll want to tie it to somebody who can do all of the product maintenance. And then you will need to set the permission to read and write. We are going to receive your orders, and we're going to, so that's reading, and we're going to write up product and product updates. That's what the integration kind of does. So then once you do that, you're just going to hit Generate API Key here. And it's going to give you a consumer key and a consumer secret. And like I mentioned, it's actually warning us on screen here, you can only see the consumer secret right now. So you'll want to copy it either into settings directly, or you'll want to save it in like a note to yourself or a password manager or anything of that sort. You shouldn't need to put it in very frequently, if at all, more than just the once. So it is possible to just do it from the settings here and then regenerate one later in the event that you really need to. Now, as for where this goes within the software, so what you're going to do, you're going to go to your back office account here. So I'll just log in here. And we're just going to log in. We're going to go along the left here to settings, and then you'll go to the WooCommerce tab. And as I mentioned, a previous one is in there, but just to run through it right quick, you would put the secret. You would actually take the secret from here and put that in the secret field. I'll just go ahead and do that actually. We'll replace it with this newer one. And then same for the consumer key. You put in the customer key. The address is going to be, you'll probably have a URL. We just have an IP address on it because this is just for demonstration purposes. But you would probably have set your WordPress site up with your store's name or some other reasonable URL. So, you know, videogamestore.com or something of that sort. But you're going to need to add on the exact version of the API and everything here. The manual has details on this, but for most users, you would take your URL and then you'll add /wp-json, because we use a JSON integration to the WordPress API is what that stands for. WC for WooCommerce, and then V3 because version 3 of the API is the current version. It's the one we've written for. It's current as of this video. It's possible if you're watching this down the line, the new one has come out, in which case you'll probably still be pointing at V3 unless we've removed this video and replaced it with a new one. You'll also want to enable WooCommerce with checking this box. And then the description is a customizable field that sets up how the description field gets set. And you can do that filling in a variety of fields and all. For exact details, you can consult the manual. But for example, the one I have here will just send the notes field. And you can actually, the reason you might want to particularly use just the notes field is that you can put HTML markup in the notes field so that you can lay out that description a little more custom. But you can do something that's just auto-built off of like your description field and your description to field, your department category. There's about 15 or 20 fields that we allow you to set to send up, and you can put plain text in between however you like. But for details on that, consult the manual because it's a little bit more complicated. So then you would just save your settings here. And then this next step is important. So that setting is going to let us send items up to WooCommerce. The next setting here is going to let us get orders. It's going to tell WooCommerce that we want to be notified when an order comes in. So in order to do that, you'll just click this initialize WooCommerce link. And I've done that already on this side. I'm not going to do it right now, but it would just go right back to the screen, and if it's successful, it will give you an error if it is not. And then it will configure a few different things about the WooCommerce site that you're going to want. And you can tell if this is successful, actually, if you go under webhooks here. You should see 3 here that are pointing back to thunderpos.net. And that is to let, anytime that a product gets deleted through the site, we want to know about it so that we don't send updates to it anymore. And then if an order is created or updated, we want to know about it so that we can notify the cashier, pull it from stock so that you don't end up double selling it more than is strictly necessary. It is always possible that somebody in the store has bought it at the exact same moment as somebody online, but you want to reduce that as much as humanly possible. And then just to kind of get an example of an item here, we'll just do one. So if we go to items here and add one, we should then see it show up in the WooCommerce settings, and there'll be a separate video up showing what it looks like within ThunderPOS. So take a look there if you want to see how some of this looks in action at that site. But if we just add we'll create a new item here. We'll just call it, actually that's fine. We'll call it that, and then we'll call it test for video. And we're not going to really fill in everything here. We're just going to kind of get some stuff in here just to show what it looks like online. So then you want to make sure you go under online commerce and then check on web. And these new price and used price online fields, if you set those to anything other than 0, then that's the price that's going to get used when you send it up to WooCommerce. If you leave it at 0, it's going to use new price or used price 1. And we'll leave it at 0 for the moment just to show that. So our price should be $5 for a new copy. So we will create it. And then if we go over, we'll wait for it here. If we go over to the WooCommerce area and we click on products, then we can see it's actually the top one here. And you'll see it says out of stock. That's because new and used are variants of this base product. So if you get to see your stock, you actually go down to variations and you'll see new and used. And that creates the product. And then when you get orders in, if you go down to the bottom here and click on the notifications bell, I've got a couple in here that came in that I had done previously. You'll just see that you've gotten orders in, and to see the details on that, you can see the details from the ThunderPOS client, which we'll go over in a minute. But if you're online, just go out to the WooCommerce site. All of your fulfillment will be done through WooCommerce, but once you fulfill it, it will automatically remove the stock from ThunderPOS. So as soon as it's actually paid for, it will actually pull that stock out. And that way, again, it will reduce the chance of you double selling something. But for more details on that, you're going to want to check out our other video showing how this looks from the Windows client. There is also an integration for the iPad client where it will show notifications and such. So that side does have this as well, but we'll have a video up for the ThunderPOS client related to this one that you'll probably want to check out.